record, my birthday's tomorrow. And
Aw.
celebrate
Hey,
it.
happy
First item of old business is to approve the minutes from the meeting on August 11th.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any conversation? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Motion carries. Any other old business to come before the board? Hearing none, we'll move on to new business. The first item is to request from Emmanuel Lutheran Church to close Poplar from 5th to 7th. 5th from Poplar, oh, this was so confusing. I had to go look at the map.
Blame him.
Oak from 5th to 9th, 9th from Oak to Swan, and Swan from 9th to the alley east of the church. So I did go look at the map, yes, so we're okay. Is there anyone here to speak on that?
Yes, this is our 9th year doing this. We're running a little, getting into it a little late this year. But, yeah, we do this as a community event for that neighborhood, bring some attention to part of town that really could use some. We've had real good results for the past 8 years.
Ethan, do you help them with this one?
I used to, when I had my old company, but the past 2 years they've been doing it on their own.
Right.
But you initially said.
Yeah, that confusing route really bad either.
Yeah. Any questions from the board? I do have one. Robin, we didn't get anything from street, so.
No, they did not respond. I'm sure it's not an issue. It's just I did not get, I can check with, they'll definitely be aware of it because we'll send them the street closing. They did get a request, we just did not respond to, but we've not had any issues in the past.
I knew it was something that's been done before.
We still do it all in closures.
Move to approve.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Motion carries. Next, we have a request from the Vigo County Library to close Walnut from 6 to 7 on September 27th from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. during Family Learning Day. Is there anyone here to speak on that? Hi. You're the new executive director.
Yes, this is Jordan. So this will be our 31st year hosting Family Learning Day. So we're just asking to close the street so we can have our treasure truck area there. And then also for our patron safety, they park across the street in the first financial lot and walk to our parking lot.
We do have a favorable recommendation from engineering and from the street department. Any questions from the board? From the public? Hearing none, I entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. There you go. Next, we have a request from Ethan Page to close Cherry and Tippecanoe from 4th to 9th, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, from Cherry to Tippecanoe, and 9th, again, I had to look at the map. Figure it all out.
That's right.
During the Terre Haute Turkey Trot on November 27th from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Yeah, so, yeah, this is our 12th year, so going into our 12th year here, pretty exciting. That route that you guys are looking at is, if you want to sum it up, it's basically ISU campus. We do that to keep off all the railroad tracks. I work with usually Ian Loomis at ISU PD to make sure that we're not causing any conflicts to them, but really you guys have 3 things operating on campus on Thanksgiving morning. You have the bus routes that we have an open section for them to go out of. ISUPD likes to be able to obviously go back and forth whenever they do, so we have man barricades at all the different intersections. And then you guys have a cleaning crew that is usually cleaning ISU that morning. So we have, we set those barricades up, but we have them manned. Usually there's a crew of 2 manning 2 separate intersections so they can let people through. Last year we had over 800 people, so that's really cool. Community members were able to donate. All the donations go to the Valley Food Pantry up north, so they feed a lot of hungry people around the holidays and beyond. So that is the main beneficiary of this event. Guys, any other questions?
No, we do have approval from engineering to, or recommendation for approval from engineering. We also have a recommendation from the street department. They did, Ted Lemke with the police department said the Terre Haute police officers will not be assigned for this.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, just want to make sure you knew that. With the big staff, if you need, obviously, police assistance, but
Okay.
they'll be there for an emergency.
Yeah, there's almost nobody downtown. I think they all come downtown just for the race, so, we haven't had any issues in the past.
Any other questions for Ethan? From the board? From the public? Hearing none, I entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. There you go, guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Next, we have 490 pages of suit authorization here. Robin, how did it go from 1 or 2 pages to?
I don't know, this is how they sent him to me, I was shocked when I got it, because we've been doing so well, but.
I've been doing hand exercises this morning, so to sign all of these.
Yeah, there's a lot.
We have a motion. We have a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have a request from BNR Automotive Repair to close North 13th from 1330 Lafayette to Lafayette on September 19th from 4 to 8 p.m. Is there anyone here to speak on that?
We are.
Good morning.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good. So we do have a recommendation from the engineering office and from the street department. Do you want to tell, this is the first one, right?
Yes.
This is a grand opening.
Yes.
So congratulations on that. The only thing I might mention is in a couple of First Friday events for 12 Points, they have had some issues.
So we got some dump trucks donated,
Okay,
so we're gonna park.
there you go.
So-
There
So
you
we
go.
don't have any issues.
Cheapest barricades ever.
Thank you for that.
Yes, that does, that's been a little problem or a concern of ours recently, so.
Do you still need barricades dropped off from the street department, or are you gonna barricade?
I would like them, yes.
Okay, that's one thing.
Also, Robin, they've handled the insurance and all of that.
Yes.
Any questions for the folks from DNR?
Is there a spot where you want it shut down? I know, so you're wanting to go from on the Lafayette side, right? If I'm on the email correctly.
Yes.
You wanna make sure that that's a 13 from, Norman's the one that did the closing request. From 1330 Lafayette till the end, is that what you wanted? 13th Street?
Yep.
Yeah, just 13th Street.
On the 13th Street side. So there's a stop sign right there. I believe that's the bar on 13, basically Club Soda. So we're gonna go basically from our business to the stop sign, or the stop light right at 13th Lafayette.
Yes,
Okay.
But that's just north of the library, right?
Well, so we'll probably leave it to where people can actually, if they want, pull into, because I know the library gets a lot of business through that
Yeah, I was
drive-through.
gonna say, make sure you leave their access there.
Yeah, so we'll park the dump truck basically right there at that drive-through.
And have you let the area residents know that this is happening?
Oh, yeah, there's a huge Facebook event going on right now for it.
All right, any other questions for DNR from the board, from the public?
Move to approve.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Good luck.
Thank you.
Next, we have a sewer agreement, RJ Builders North Point Phase 4. Is there anyone here to speak on that?
So, North Point is trying to construct new sanitary sewers, their phase 4. So we reviewed it already, there's enough capacity, so we are talking them to execute the agreement so that there's like a paper agreement that says that they will follow all the standards for construction.
And then once that sewer is completed, they'll ask for us to inspect it and accept it. So that's when we'll have wastewater throw out. That'll be another recommendation from Norman, the expert, the working well, and then they can connect their own to the sewer. But not until, they'll have to be inspected by us before we accept it, so make sure they did follow that.
Yeah. So usually if it's done, our inspector will inspect it and like witness all the tests that needs to be conducted. And we would request the wastewater to run a camera inside to verify the inside of the sanitary sewers.
Any questions for Norman?
Who's paying for that?
They pay for it, so they put in the sewer, okay, all the costs are incurred by RJ Builders. If the sewer,
And the city accepts it?
the city will accept it, then it becomes our sewer. But if it's in the county, is North Point in the county?
Yeah.
They still have to pay a $5 connection fee for each home that they tap. If it was located in the city limits, the same things would apply. They would pay for all of it, but we would waive their tap-ons for 5 years if they're building in the city. But they're building in the county, so they install it, it's theirs, we accept it, and then we do charge tap-ons.
I'm just asking out of curiosity, what is the sanitary district? What are their responsibilities?
The same for this.
Yeah, for, I guess, any time we do something like this.
So they, where the sanitary district gets involved is they also look at when you accept the sewer, the life of the sewer and what combined sewage overflows would be associated with any type of project. And then that goes into like our long-term control plan, and then they approve any projects for combined sewage overflow, sewers, or the sanitary district at large.
I may be able to add on that a little bit more. It feels a little out of place here, right? We're talking about sanitary district. Right. We are in the process of moving this process to sanitary board, but it's a little more complicated with sewage billing and tap-on agreements and how it's billed. So, yeah, we're in the process of kind of redoing the whole subdivision acceptance process from streets and sidewalk type stuff that will come to board works to sewer and stormwater stuff that will go to sanitary board. But the way the code's written and the way our processes go is a little more complicated than just making a switch. So we're continuing the way the city code says to until we're at a point that we can change it. The sanitary is all fees, right?
Yes, the fees do go to they go to wastewater.
But currently Robin collects them,
Yeah, I take
so
it down.
it's confusing.
Which she is.
Yeah.
What's the permit today? How many lots are they gonna create, out of curiosity?
You know, how many lots are there?
Oh, it's
There's that, you know.
I didn't see.
There's about 18 there.
Yeah.
This is phase 4, so there are a lot of things there.
I move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. And a second, any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have a request to paint traffic signal lots at 7th and College. Is there anyone here to speak on that?
Jesse Wood, he's out sick. That's just so people used to paint them and there was not a formal
Did you guys
system.
see the-
And now we approve it, so this is just an addition to our Power to Paint program.
Move to approve.
The request also mentions reserving other boxes.
Eventually, yeah, I think they're asking to, but Robin, would you prefer one at a time?
I believe the one, we would prefer one at a time and also, to, approve what they're gonna be.
Yeah.
As a board, yeah.
So will they let us know, or you know, which one of these they select?
Yeah.
But regardless, these are all kind of nice. I mean, I know it's very subjective, but some of them have been like, whoa.
Yeah.
Approve that.
Yeah, I've seen some good ones, I've seen some bad ones. I'm no
There's
artist,
some
so.
really, yeah, there's some really cool ones. There's some that are like, yeah. Okay, so do you wanna let them know that they'll need to do one at a time? Or-
Yes, this came through the mayor's intern, so I'll speak with her to make sure that she's got the contact information.
Yeah, because Ron's right, it does say
So
they wanna reserve other boxes for future paintings. That's what
They've done the
it's
one that's
crazy
in
to watch.
Washington, so they've done one already.
Okay. So I'd entertain a motion to approve the one.
Move to approve the single box at 7th and Holly.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Motion carries. Next, we have a request for handicap parking at 1834 North 8th. Yes. There is no detached garage, so the engineering office did make a recommendation to approve this request for handicap parking. I got a little confused, but I finally figured it out because, is there any, are they here? or
No, I didn't have it done, so
Okay.
it was gonna be.
Because I was thinking that it was the homeowner, but the homeowner did approve it, so this guy's renting.
Right.
So I thought that was an issue, but since
No,
he
it's not.
approved it, then we are good to go.
The good news is moving forward, the ISU lots that were transferred to the city, Jordan has added specific building guidelines to include, based off space, but a focus on detached garages. So we get less of these in the future, because when the city was built out nearly 50 and 75 years ago, you didn't have this understanding of ADA compliance. So I hope that as we improve our infill housing program, you will all see less of these, but with some of the older homes in the city, it's not going to switch overnight.
And for the record, the last one that was, the engineering did not make a recommendation to approve because it had a driveway. But we all went to see it and the driveway was real narrow.
Yeah.
Narrower than the garage door opening. So
Couldn't fit in.
he couldn't get his walker out and things like that. So maybe even to add to that, maybe they make sure that
I'll have
the
Jordan.
driveway is at least as wide as the door. The Model T.
Yeah.
And that's already approved, so move to accept the engineer's recommendation.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have payroll.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Next, we have claims.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Next, we have a request from St. Benedict's Parish to close nights from Walnut to Ohio on September 27th from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Is there anyone here to speak on that? That'd be me.
Hi. We're going to do a block party instead of the festival, which ended in COVID. So we pared it down drastically, and we're only requesting in front of the church, that section of the street, or actually from there, the corner in front of the school. We've got food trucks and vans, and it will be blocked off. There's a beer truck coming from Valley Group, so it's just a downtown community event.
It's nice to have this come back.
Yeah, it's pared down drastically, but yes, we're gonna see if this works, and hopefully it will be a thing we do every year.
And oddly enough, I didn't know Bellevue had a truck, but hey,
I didn't either, but
Good to know.
yeah, they do, and they provide all the licensing and all the stuff that you need.
Do you have any TVs? It's college football season.
I don't know.
Well, I'm trying to plan my day on the 27th, because I've got the family learning day. and
Yeah.
Now this, I gotta figure out when I need to be back home.
We run till 10.
Okay.
Big fun band.
Yeah.
It's coming in the evening.
It is 2025 and that little device that you have right there.
But I can't yell at the referee through this. It's better if I yell through it.
Throw something. All right, well, it's nice that it's coming back. So, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Motion carries. And next, we have change order number 1, hotel project downtown.
Can we go to our Brad's to change order 3 and 4, just in the hopes that Mike Wright might make it back in time for this change order?
Yes, ma'am. Next, we have change order number 3, 13th and Wabash. That'll be you, Mr. Reeves.
Yep, change order number 3 is for utility delay. They were delayed a total of 37 days, I believe it was. We're only giving them 23 days because they actually had people on site for the rest of that time. We won't give them money and time because they're also asking for $10,185.38 to demobilize, remobilize, and for loss of production. So that's the amount of the change order plus 23 days. That would make the intermediate completion date for that phase changes to September 10th. If you have any questions.
Which utility?
John.
And I know, Marcus, I asked you about this, but we don't charge them,
The utilities?
yeah, when they cause you delays.
That's correct.
Joint-
Usually-
Joint has streets torn up every day.
And usually when it's a delay like this, it's an unforeseen delay. In the event that they know it's coming, we've delayed the project, we've worked together,
This one was a little complicated too because the line in this area serves the hospitals. They had to give them 2 weeks' notice if they were going to do this work and shut down their fiber before they could start on it. So it made this delay no longer than it normally would be.
I was just talking to Marcus about this, thinking that we might get some extra income or get some reimbursement on these delays, but I know it's a give and take. All right, any questions for Brad on this change order number 3?
Move to accept.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Motion carries. Next, we have change order number 4. Brad?
Yep, this one is for a replacement of a manhole structure. We have a existing brick storm sewer structure that we were tying all the new pipes into. This structure started falling apart when they were trying to tap new holes into it, so we decided to just replace the manhole because it was going to be making progress anyway. So the cost to replace the manhole, and then they actually had a pipe ran all the way into it. They had to remove some pipe and reinstall some pipe, so. It also adds 2 days to the project, to the intermediate completion date, making the new intermediate completion date for that phase September 12th. And then the total is $16,112.40. After any questions.
Any questions from the board? From the public? All right, we have a motion.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Motion carries. Welcome, Mr. Wright.
Thank you.
We're moving back to change order, well, this, on the agenda, it says change order number 1. On here, it says change order number 2. Is it 1 or 2? There's 2, sorry, there's 2, okay. So who's going to speak, Mike or?
I can give a brief summation and then turn it over to Troy. So this relates to the downtown hotel project on the former school corporation property. Upon full excavation, more than estimated undesirable material was located at the bottom of the build site. The fill requirements for the project, were to deliver a construction-ready site, compaction tested, with construction-grade fill already in. And upon the discovery of the undesirable material at the base of the project, a time and material contract was set up to pull that excess material out and get it disposed of in an appropriate manner.
So
This
the
is the change order.
undesirables, is that all the brick and everything that they found down there?
Yes.
Yeah.
So essentially,
buildings.
the entire site was underneath the parking area and the grass area was full of debris and rubble. That was unexpected. The building itself was removed, and upon removal of the asphalt, it was realized that there was brick and from old building that were just knocking in, to somewhere between 13 and 18 feet deep throughout the entire site. So, and what I did was to move into time and material change order. That way we can track trucking and everything else and the fair assessment, as opposed to the open bid type process where you could potentially impact the even more because the contractor's going to protect themselves. So
Anybody would have found this regardless.
yeah, and it wasn't.
It would have.
And the reason for the change order was not in the original contract documents because it was unexpected. There was no geotech work done at that point prior to the project. So
Yeah.
So it was not covered in the existing description of the project that we did back in late last year.
So,
Did you bore before we bid?
No, that's right. There was no geotech done. Yeah, there's no geotech done. And the reason why is because there was a new building built there in the late early 80s when the zoning school corporation building was actually constructed. So it was assumed that everything was.
That was done.
Yeah, it was not.
So it's assumed that because the school corporation building was there, that there was not a.
The assumption that it's already been cleared.
Yeah.
And it already been filled or whatever.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when they tore down those old buildings, they just pushed it all in. Is that about right?
That's essentially what happened, yeah, when there was even existing basement walls that were there, still intact, that had to be
There's
removed.
also basement walls.
Yeah,
It's all the brick there also.
Yeah.
so it was a course of over a 3-month process for the contractor to remove that material and backfill with appropriate engineered fill so they can construct the hotel on top of that now.
As I'm looking at this change order, it mentions 686 Wabash and it says and 1211 Wabash.
Yeah, so the project itself was bid in 3 divisions. A contractor could have got one or the other or both, which is why the successful contractor on this contract, when we bid it, actually was selected for both. So this contract covers both sides, but this change order is specific to the 686 Wabash House.
Okay. And this is a $1.4 million change.
Yes.
Wow. What was originally a $500,000
Yes.
project? Was that $500,000 for both projects or just the Wabash project?
The 525 was the total for both sides.
Gotcha.
and they couldn't
That's
uncover
right.
anything crazy down.
No, fortunately, we were able to get that building down and actually backfill appropriately without any issues, which if you'd have told me to pick the site, it could cause problems, but I would pick that one over and over again before we set the wall side. But,
So where does money come from?
Redevelopment. It's a redevelopment project.
It's real.
Yeah, this was bid through the Board of Public Works because of, the obvious reasons. And but it is a redevelopment project, so it's a redevelopment change order for that project.
So Jim, when they sent the bid out, and then we had the bid opening, the sum of this contractor, he bid on both or within
Yeah.
a combination, so that's, they have the best. Yeah, that's a lot of money. No repercussions, I mean, I know IBM built that building, and then it became the school corp, and it's just nothing. we can do.
There's no recourse. So
There wasn't any environmental issues, it was more just clean debris and clean.
Yeah. Maybe if it hadn't been governmental entity to governmental entity, it might have gotten a little more. But I mean, with the project coming together as it did, just, and the building being there, not that old, I think the,
Yeah, redevelopment's aware of this too.
redevelopment's fully on board with this, they're aware of it. So,
Okay, this is just a formality, so.
yes, this is what's required to, you approve the contract, so you have to approve any change order to that contract, so, yes, this is, HWC's been working on this for months, getting that, easel, tracking that, fighting that, so, trying to keep the bill down, but we knew going all along that it was, a project that had to move forward, and we had agreed to deliver a build-ready site. I mean, that's what we signed up
It's
to
still
do.
ready now, right?
So, we really, the time and material choice was delivered in that respect, that, the cost of, just the weight of that material, trucking it out, every bit of it to, one of two landfills, so.
Pardon my ignorance here, but is there any, does this set any precedents for future projects to say, this project, whatever the multiple times we've found hidden lines under roadways that was set, added, do we need to do one?
I think, it definitely has some lessons tied in there. The boring, that sort of, geotechnical work on the front end, when you're talking about a full excavation. Yeah, I think there's lessons for sure, that you.
That said, as an example, I think the parking garage that's on South 7th Street that belongs to ISU now, that was a redevelopment project. I think they bored, as I remember, the engineering board maybe 40 board samples and found nothing, and then you had a very similar issue once they started digging. There may have been a utility vault, is that the right word that's underneath?
Gas station tank.
Okay, well, I can't remember, Greg, you know.
Or an oil well.
Yeah.
But
It was a tank or
you can
something.
still bore, is my point, and you can still miss, and you
Yeah.
think you understand it, but
Most times,
Maybe
bore,
business
all you're
decision
gonna find
behind
is what's directly underneath that bore, and there's gonna be things in between that you don't see. In this case,
But
Well,
it might be a learning.
a lot of times you're still not gonna find
But that,
situations like that.
I think that's the only thing that I can think of that would have delivered this sort of information would be if the material was located beneath the parking lot, that would have been information we definitely would have rather known on the front end. But
Keep
But
in
that's
mind
also
your-
an expensive endeavor too, right?
Yeah, well, it is, but it protects you during the contracting portion of this, but in the end, you still be paying for the renewal,
yes.
whether you knew it was there or not. And
Yeah.
the way we did change order with time and material, it would not have reduced that price. If anything, it would have maybe made it even more because the contractor is gonna provide them self-protection on the bid. So
It's just unfortunate.
Yes.
At the end of the day, it's just unfortunate. With a hefty price tag.
Movement, like it wasn't any movement on that side for a while.
Yeah, you can do it a long time ago, but it's.
Yeah, I was having a school program, but.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna start calling you in advance to.
There's a couple guys that can just flat tell you, Brandon Turner's gonna,
Oh,
it says, that used to be this,
Yeah.
it's probably something under it.
yeah.
But you wouldn't have thought on this short building, no one would have thought that.
Okay, any further conversation, discussion, questions, concerns? For change order number 1, 2. I went back and looked at the agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Motion carries. There you go, guys. Any other new business to come before the board?
Yes. So, there's an issue that I wanted to bring to the board's attention regarding the, vehicles that are taken to Wolf's Auto Auction for, impound under the contract that we have with them, with the tow company rotation. And, you wanna, Heather? You wanna?
We've never met in person. I've talked to him multiple times on the phone. And we've seen each other.
I
so.
kept wondering why it was here, but now it just all made sense.
Heather can better explain it than I.
Yes, so the vehicles that are brought to the auction, we wait X amount of days, send out letters to the owners and lien holders of the vehicle. Then we sell them at our auction. The dealership that buys them, as long as they're a dealership in Indiana, we can do an Indiana mechanics lien packet. And which then puts the title to the vehicle in the purchaser's name, whoever bought it at our auction. Where we ran into an issue is with out-of-state dealers, mostly Illinois, that come in and buy the vehicle at our auction. They can't use an Indiana mechanics lien packet in Illinois DMV. And they can't get an Indiana title because they're not an Indiana dealer. They're licensed in Illinois. So what my request is, and the Illinois dealer is completely fine paying this. Their only option in Illinois is to either get a bond for the vehicle or to do a court order. And that way they get it in Illinois. Those are both very expensive in Illinois. So what they're asking is if we can do the mechanics lien packet in Indiana, get the title first in the city of Terre Haute's name, then transfer it to the Illinois dealer and get a title for the Illinois dealer. That process, yeah. That process is less expensive than bonding a vehicle or getting a court order in Illinois. So what I would do is, Wolf's Auto Auction would do this, so that I would make sure that the title would not stay in City of Terre Haute's name. I would first get an Indiana title, I'd fill out the mechanics lien packet, City of Terre Haute would kind of be the purchaser temporarily. I would get an Indiana title in City of Terre Haute's name, then I would transfer it to Illinois and get an Illinois title in the Illinois dealer's name. So it would only be in Indiana's, City of Terre Haute's name for a short amount of time.
While it's sitting on Wolf's Auto Auctions lot.
Right.
What's the timeline from when you receive it to when this would happen? I mean, do you let it sit there for 60 days? Is there a time, is there a parameter there that before you would move it on?
So the vehicle sits on our lot for roughly 45 days before we sell it at auction. And then when I send the mechanics lien packet, I overnight all the packets to the DMV in Indiana. It usually takes 2 weeks to get an Indiana title, and then Illinois can take up to a month for an Illinois title. But then, so for that, for roughly a month, it'd be in the City of Terre Haute's name. Then I would have, it would be an Illinois title in an Illinois dealer's name no longer in the city of Terre Haute's name. So if this Illinois dealer sold it for some reason, and that person lost the title work, it wouldn't come back on the city of Terre Haute. I would make sure city of Terre Haute's name was off of the title work before I gave the Illinois dealer their title.
So Mike, who would, when it becomes then, because this has come up before with our prior, the city does not own
It's
me.
been mentioned.
Yeah, I know. So that's why I asked Heather to come to this morning's meeting, was just, from my perspective, what she's doing is fine. I don't think that the city ever really acquires an insurable interest or actual interest in the property, because we are contracting with Wolves to facilitate its transfer to whoever bought it from them, right? And if that was an Illinois dealer, then this is just an additional step we need to take to facilitate that transfer.
So when it's temporarily in the city of Terre Haute's name, who then would sign over?
Wolves.
You would still sign it.
I would sign a seller.
You don't have to have somebody from the city sign over.
And you won't be routinely approving
That's why.
their sale.
That's why I was wondering, okay.
It is just so you're aware that this is the process that is going to be employed, that if you hear, well, hey, I got a transfer from the city of Terre Haute, they sold me this. Well, just so you understand that, somebody might actually say that, and that could be true, because.
In cases,
Yeah, that's okay.
when I get cornered.
Yeah, so, but it has not ever been city property that would have had to have been surplused in order to be disposed of. It's not acquired with taxpayer dollars. It's not that. It is, and not every vehicle that gets taken to Wolves gets sold. People could show up and pay their impounded fee and pick up their vehicle and be on their way. So.
And that's the majority, right?
Yes, I'd say, for example, we didn't have a sale at the end of last month, but we have one this month, and we have 50 cars in it. So around, I'm gonna say on average, 25 to 35 cars a month that no one comes to claim. And then we have to do the process of notifying most recent owner, lien holder, and then putting it up for auction at our sale.
Yes. So, yeah, it is. And it's, you've heard about the issues surrounding the providers for that. So,
But there's been a couple of glitches here and there, but for the most part, this system's working, right?
Yes, yeah.
it is working tremendously.
Good.
The police department, it will take burden off of the general fund, which is exactly what it was designed to do.
So would we be giving specific parameters that this is only for a transaction when transferring to an Illinois dealer, or is
Yes.
it open to private parties, individuals from
No.
Illinois, just?
Dealer only, yes. This is only, this is not something we're willing to do for, if you're in Indiana, right, you can do it, dealers can decide whether or not they want to do it on their own or pay Wolves to do it for them. And so, we are just helping them provide a clean title to vehicles that we have agreed to provide a clean title to. And this is the step we need to take to do that, is temporarily put it in our name for Indiana's purposes, so we have a title to transfer to Illinois. Because Illinois, for some ridiculous reason, won't recognize the storage charges that have been incurred here in Indiana. they say that those storage charges have to have been incurred in Illinois for that mechanic. So it is a stupid reason to begin with, in my mind. So we are just helping Illinois buyers still be able to come and participate, which we want, because, you know, we want buyers at auctions. So, we're trying to remove impediments to, you know, them participating, and I just wanted the board to be aware of that fact. There's no action that's
As I say,
necessary.
we need to take action.
Nothing you need to do. It was just so you're aware, so I can move forward with Heather and Faith, knowing that you're aware.
So Heather, do you communicate with Mike like a quarterly report or something, are you aware when she'll be doing this, or do you need to know, or do you care?
I mean, we get the checks. That's what and we get a report for sure after every auction. Jess has talked, Brandon has talked about that. The police-
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, go ahead.
On that report, we can specify who purchased the vehicle, whether it was an Illinois or an Indiana dealer. If that's necessary, our system does pull that, we can show who the buyer is for each
I just
vehicle.
didn't know if that was necessary to track.
Well, I mean, to be honest, Marla, I'm not going to be tracking it. I mean, the Wolves is going to be tracking it. If there's problems, we will certainly help, but I mean, for all intents and purposes, the purchasers are paying for this through Wolves. Wolves is just processing the paperwork through the Indiana BMV to get a clean transfer to Illinois. So it's not something that I plan to monitor heavily. It's more, I just wanted the board to be aware that this additional step was taking place, which in my mind makes sense and it should. And feel like, you know, Heather knows that she's good to do that the board's aware. So we'll just continue to monitor the sales and that's the.
And I will make sure.
Been the big release to the general fund.
Yeah, I will make sure, we only have had Illinois dealers come to the auction, but even if I had an individual come to our auction from Illinois, I would not give them a title that's in the city of Terre Haute and rely on the fact that they would go title it themselves. Because you would be surprised how often that does not happen. So I would never leave it in the city of Terre Haute's name. I would make for sure that it didn't pop up.
And that was my only real, and talking through it with her was that, in my mind, we never acquired an insurable interest in the vehicle. It's not ever really been city of Terre Haute property. As long as it doesn't ever leave their lot as city of Terre Haute property, then I'm fine with it. And that's what she shared.
So you wouldn't even let them leave until the paperwork's all complete?
That'd be fine.
The car's not gonna leave
I can
your premises until it's titled correctly.
We can do that, yes, that's possible. We don't have very many bought by Illinois dealers. The majority have been bought by Indiana dealers or an individual here in Indiana. So this is only, I'm gonna say there's, out of the several we've sold, I'm dealing with 6 issues right now. One was purchased by one Illinois dealer, and the other 5 were purchased by this other Illinois dealer, Stutzman's Used Cars is actually it is, but, so I'm dealing with a small amount of cars that I don't even have this issue with, but Stutzman's is at our auction every week. So I know this is gonna come up again. He's still gonna want to participate in this auction and buy those vehicles. So
the little red flag that just went up was when you said that there wouldn't be any insurance, but I thought if they leave the premises and it's still temporarily titled with the city of Terre Haute, then
I
that
can
could be a
tell.
problem.
I can tell the Illinois dealer that it needs to stay here until I've transferred it into their name.
That sounds like that could be well over a month.
Could be, they're okay with that. A lot of times there has to be repair work done to the vehicles. Some of the city vehicles are nice, they're ready to go. Some of, the one, Stutzman in particular, he's also a salvager. So his stuff, a lot of times he's just looking for parts. So he would be okay leaving it on our lot if needed, until we get the title work completed done.
I think that would be, I feel like we're all a little hypersensitive when it comes
Yeah.
to this issue just because. And so I feel like, we need to dot i's and cross t's and make sure nobody has any ammunition to come back on.
For sure.
Thank you. So, yeah. So my recommendation would be that make sure it stays on your premises until it becomes their title. That doesn't need action either. Okay. All right, any other old or new business to come before the board? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. All right, we are adjourned, everyone. Now I gotta sit for the next 3 hours and sign papers.